Hi everybody, it's Emily. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little flower decoration that you can use for springtime. I made this one out of origami paper and a popsicle stick, but today I'm going to show you how to make it out of an old magazine and a chopstick. You'll need a gem or two to put in the middle if you want to, but you don't have to. I had a pencil just because, and I have tape and glue here. In this project I used both. I have this old National Geographic Kids magazine, and the first thing I did was flip through the pages to see which ones I liked the best color-wise, and you'll need 4 pages and each of them will need to be cut into a square. I'll show you how to do that in a second. To make a nice square, I folded the bottom corner of one into the middle, and then I gave it a good crease. Then what I'm going to do is cut along the top edge and make them square, but I actually cut through all 4 pages at the same time just so they were even. As you see here, I am cutting along the top edge, and then the next step after this is to cut along the middle where the staples are to get them out of the magazine. Now you should have all 4 of your squares cut out. I just gave them a little bit of a trim to make them more even, but other than that, you are ready for the next step. Now you need to fold your paper. So what I did to cut time is I put all 4 sheets together and folded them at once. What you're going to do is accordion fold all of these sheets. So you're going to go back and forth folding about a ½ inch up, and you're just going to continue that until all of your paper is now in an accordion. So this is what it looks like after you've folded it all the way, and now you can take out all of the separate sheets, and that was just a quick and easy way to fold all 4 without having to do them individually. I just gave them a little bit more of a crease just because they were in that bundle, and I wanted to make sure each of them were nice and crisp. The next step is to fold each one of these in half, so I gathered them at the corners, folded them in half, and then this step is what creates our petals. I did this with all 4 sheets, and then I will show you how to secure them so they stay this way. After I folded all 4, I gathered some of the folds that I wanted to glue together, and I just put a little bit of glue in the middle so we can keep our petal shape. I squeezed them together, and then the folds that I was pinching on the back, I actually took some tape and I taped together just for added security and to hold it together while the glue dried. This is what it should look like after you've taped it and glued it. So the next step is to repeat the process with the 3 other pieces of paper. I didn't film the middle 2, but I wanted to film the last one just so you could see the process again. Now you should have all of the pieces of your flower ready to go, and the next step is to figure out which arrangement you want them to be in. There were 2 purple pieces here, so I put them across from one another, and what we have to do now is put them all together. To attach them in the shape of a flower, you're going to repeat the same process that you used when you glued each side of one together. You're going to grab a couple of folds, put a little dab of glue in the middle, and then tape it on the back. This part of the process might be a little bit easier because you can flatten them down completely and glue them that way. It might be a little easier than trying to fumble with just a few folds, but I put them together, had a little bit of glue in the middle, I spread them apart, and then I just grabbed some of the folds that I wanted to tape together. Once you've finished that, you can repeat the process with the 2 remaining pieces. There are so many folds in this that it's okay if you have to grab a couple of them to tape. Sometimes it just gives it a little more stability and it's a little bit easier than trying to find the teeniest fold. Once you've finished all of that, you have the basis of your flower. You're almost done, but you just need to add the stick if you want to and your gem. So I flipped it over so I could see the back, and I wanted to attach my chopstick. What I did to attach the chopstick is I cut a little square out of the magazine just so it would have a little bit more of a flat surface to stick to. So I cut out the square and glued it right in the middle of the flower. I did the same thing with the smaller one just to make it a little more stable. Here I just put some glue right in the middle. I had some trouble with my glue, but hopefully you don't. I put a decent amount just because I know that it is not an even surface and I wanted it to stick really well. It's okay if it seeps down through the bottom just because we're going to put a gem on that side anyway, but you want your popsicle stick or your chopstick to be stable on the back. I recommend letting this bit dry completely before you attach your stick. So what I did was I flipped it over and I put my gem on. I went through a couple different ones and I settled on the purple heart. I put a decent amount of glue on this side too and pressed it down just because it is really an uneven surface and I wanted it to stay. I let this dry completely and after that I will show you how to put the stick on. Now it's pretty dry, so I flipped it over and I actually attached the stick with some tape. I thought glue would slide around too much and take a long time to dry, so I used a little bit of tape. I just put it on the stick and pushed it down, and this is where that flat surface really comes in handy. I added a couple pieces, and then once you do that, you are all finished. This is what mine looked like when I was all finished. I really liked the colors of this and the gem I chose. When I added the stick, I put it in this little vase so it would stand up. Obviously this one is pretty big, but you can make it out of any kind of paper and any size that you want. I hope you enjoyed this craft, and I hope you have a fabulous spring.